you're paying for views. Google is maybe better because you're paying for clicks, so there's at least some interest there. It is even better because you don't pay for views, you don't pay for clicks, nothing matters except the sale. You only pay your cost of acquisition happens once you acquire the customer, right? So like, hey, I acquire a $100 customer, I pay you 20%, $20 affiliate commission. It's one of the most dream channels that brands can have.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ecommerce Coffee Break podcast. In this episode, we're talking about influencer and affiliate marketing. Now, most brands don't have an influencer problem. They have a strategy problem. They're sending out free products, paying for posts and hoping something sticks, but the results just aren't there. So the real question is, how do you get from just another unknown brand to one creators actually talk about? To break this down, I'm joined by Yash Chavan. He's the founder and CEO of Saral. Yash has built and scaled influencer programs from scratch, worked with thousands of creators, and now helps e-commerce brands turn influencer and affiliate marketing into a predictable growth engine. So let's get started. Yash, great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Excited to speak with you and your audience about influencer affiliate marketing. And I also have a special news to share. So yeah, I'm very excited to talk.
Cool. Let's start with influencer marketing. Saral is very known for this. Why do many brands still get influencer marketing wrong?
So many. I think there's so many answers to this question. On the root level, I believe that most brands still don't understand the impact that influence has on sales. And I say influence, not influencers. I think often brands are stuck in like a old school, maybe performance marketing oriented ways of tracking performance for influence marketing. So things like last click attribution, boosting with paid ads, for instance, like all of this basically tracks influence in a very myopic last click. They would track who clicked the link and then bought the product, or they would track whose discount code was used on Shopify at checkout to then attribute sales to the creator. But honestly, it's so hard to track and measure when 5 or 10 or 15 influencers post about your brand and then you see some incremental sales that weekend on your Shopify. Who exactly drove how much sales? It is a little bit complicated, that whole attribution problem. And often a lot of creators who actually do the introduction to the brand, who do the nurturing and education about the products, end up not getting any credit. And then the creator who drop a code at the right time, they get all the credit for the sale. So often I think because of a measurement problem, brands end up under attributing sales to influencers. And then eventually either they make bad decisions and hence are unable to scale, or they completely just stop doing influencer marketing because they think it's not working. But it is actually more like a visibility problem than it is like a strategy problem. Almost often we've observed with the brands we've worked with. So I think at a high level, that's what. There's so many tactical errors you could make, but on the highest level, I think this is one of the most fundamental root issues that even we want to solve at Saral.
I think this was a very good overview, and I can totally relate to this. I wouldn't call myself an influencer. I'm running a media company, but obviously I also get a lot of requests, and which will bring us to the next part of the affiliate marketing. And this goes quite often hand in hand. But I want to start high level there. What kind of mindset shift do brands need to make influencer marketing and affiliate marketing work?
Yeah, I think one of the main, you cannot treat your influencers as if they were ads. Often brands get to the first milestone, let's say, product market fit, $3 to $5 million in GMV. Typically, they get to that first sort of base camp using paid media. Like they're running ads, they're really good at running ads. They have paid media teams, or they have a person or an agency. So their mindset is fixed in this cost per click, very analytical way of looking at marketing. But influence affiliate marketing is so creative. The impact shows up in so many different ways. It has so many long tail effects. How do you, for example, I'll give you a story, actually, it's probably better. So here's the thing. We were working with a brand, it was a skincare brand, and they started working with us for the influencer program, and they started working with a Google Ads agency roughly at the same time. So we started getting influencers to post about them. Their program scaled really well. At one point, they had maybe 5 influencers posting about them every single day. That is roughly 40 to 50 posts on a weekly basis. So they were crushing it with their program, lots of awareness in the market, but still no direct, very minimal affiliate sales coming from that. On the other hand, according to them, their Google Ads agency was absolutely crushing it because the cost per clicks were low and there was a lot of traffic, a lot of interest. Like it was unreal, the acquisition efficiency with Google Ads. So what they decided was they stopped doing the influencer program and they continued the Google Ads because to an analytical mind, in that mindset, it makes sense to look at both in isolation and then take that decision. What ended up happening, however, was all of the awareness that the influencers were driving stopped, which means the demand and the searches stopped, which means the people who were warmed up by all these influencers, 5 people every single day posting about your product, which warms the person up to Google and then click on a Google ad and then buy. All of that stopped. Google ads started spiking. In like 3.5, 4 months, they were back. They turned on their influencer program. So like that is the mindset. And that's like this brand was able to fix it. But that's the mindset that often a lot of brands approach this from is they would look at the numbers, treat the influencers as if they were ads, but you have to almost start to look at them almost more towards like a top of funnel approach than like building and actually creating demand approach than like a capturing demand approach, which is typically how brands get to the first milestone. So I think that's like the primary mindset shift that brands need to make.
I like this overall view because it's a marketing flywheel. Everything influences everything else. And seeing everything in separate pockets, so to say, hurts your brand, hurts your marketing. And I think that was a perfect example for that. Now, a lot of influencers get paid by sending out products or a flat fee. And obviously, affiliate marketing works slightly different. Let's transition over into how influencer marketing and affiliate marketing work together.
Yeah, a lot of brands we've seen, and we've worked with over 500 brands at Saral. And what we've seen is pretty much every brand wants their influencers to now be affiliates. Traditionally, affiliate marketing was associated with, email lists, coupon websites, insurance blogs, like those sorts of people. Now, because all the attention is with influencers, many brands want their influencers to act as affiliates. So that's like one major shift that we've seen. So almost like think of it as a merger of influencers and affiliates in one, like the influencer is also the affiliate. And that presents a lot of opportunity because that means that you can basically reach tens of thousands of people effectively for free and only pay on acquisition. It's like it's the dream channel because Meta is in some sense the worst because you're paying on a CPM basis. You're paying for views. Google is maybe better because you're paying for clicks. So there is at least some interest there. Affiliate is even better because you don't pay for views. You don't pay for clicks. Nothing matters except the sale. You only pay your cost of acquisition happens once you acquire the customer, right? So like, hey, I acquire $100 customer, I pay you 20%. $20 affiliate commission. It's one of the most dream channels that brands can have. So we are seeing a lot of brands actually turn their influencer programs into affiliate programs, or at least have some component of affiliate in how they compensate their influencers, because that also drives performance. In the traditional influencer model, where you just paid somebody a flat fee and it didn't matter like how their content performed or how many views it got or how many sales it drove for you. Now what brands are starting to do is like, hey, if I'm going to pay you, if your rate is $1,000 for a reel, how about we pay you $700 and uncapped 10% affiliate fee? This reduces the upfront risk for the brand because they're paying 700 instead of 1,000, and introduces uncapped upside for the affiliate because the more sales they make, which means the better content they make, the more money they would make. So they actually end up making way more than $1,000 in many cases, which the brand is also happy to pay. So I think it's such a beautiful win-win situation for both the parties that more and more brands are moving towards this.
And I think there's a huge opportunity there, specifically for smaller brands without a big budget to work with influencers. Now, how does a strong long-term creator relationship look in a perfect world scenario?
Yeah, often, especially, so let's talk to smaller brands. Because if you're a big brand with a big budget, like you can make mistakes and be fine with it, and because you have this padding of a large company, a large brand, a large budget. If you're a new brand listening to this and you want to figure out a nice, profitable acquisition channel, I would make a list of 100 creators who post about your space, or 100 creators that your target persona listens to. So for instance, if you're selling to, let's say, digital nomads, then you should start talking to like, hey, who's talking about traveling, who's talking about different countries and like the visa situation and blah blah blah. Like, find these different segments of people that your ICP listens to. Once you make a list, reach out to them, offer to send them a free product. Like, hey, we're a new brand, we're up and coming, happy to send you this free travel backpack, right? That's like very friendly for tech or whatever your product is. Like, hey, I'm going to send you my travel backpack. If you like it, you can post about it. If not, that's completely fine. Right. So you can make an offer. A lot of influencers, if you reach the right people, are going to accept this because they have nothing to lose. Like, worst case, they get a free product. Best case, they have a partnership with someone. So the influencer doesn't really have anything to lose. You see a lot of success with this as a small brand. Send your products out to influencers. Some of them are naturally, if you did a good job at selecting the people, they're going to like it. They're going to ideally post about it. The people who post, you should turn into affiliates. And that's where I start answering the long-term component of your question, which is how do you make these long-term? So like, hey, most brands stop at just sending the free product. So they would do this product seeding, gifting, and then they would just stop at that. And then they just keep gifting, but it goes nowhere. Like, you're not building a program. Here's how you build a program. You build a program by the people who gift, the people who you gift. Off of those, some of them are going to post. Turn the posters into affiliates. Tell them, hey, you've already posted about us for effectively free. Why don't I give you 20% of a cut of the sales that you drive? If you like the product, you're anyway making content, you can just naturally incorporate this, my backpack, in any form of content you want, link to your affiliate link, and boom, like whenever you drive a sale, you make money, I make money. That's a very no-brainer offer to make to somebody, especially somebody who likes your product. Boom, now you have an affiliate program and you now start nurturing these relationships. Eventually, you could do more advanced things like, hey, tier your affiliate program, give them bonuses upon reaching, like, hey, once you cross $3,000 in sales, you get extra, like a $500 bonus or something like that. Or once you cross $10,000 in sales, now you're a special affiliate. So instead of 20%, you get 30%. Like, you can keep building these programs, but fundamentally, if you're a new brand, start reaching out to 50, 100 people in your niche, give them a free product. The people who post, turn them into affiliates, and then basically build incentive models that keep them posting. So yeah.
Very good overview. And Saral is very well known for influencer marketing. And obviously there's a lot of moving parts, and doing this with a Excel spreadsheet probably is not a good idea. Yeah. Having a platform to help with influencer and affiliate marketing is definitely helpful. Tell me about, there's a new product that you're bringing out and that helps with basically both of them. What is it? How does it work?
Yeah, good questions. Happy to announce this, and yours is one of the handful of podcasts that get this announcement. So I'm really happy to share this with your audience. Launching a new product called Sathi. So Sathi means companion in Sanskrit, and that's why we're launching it. And it's called Sathi because we want to position because the word affiliate tends to be it just sounds a little bit icky. It's associated with these like sometimes scammy affiliates and so on. We want to almost reframe them as companions because you are, like I said, a lot of influencer-led brands are turning their influencers into affiliates. And affiliates tends to be a little bit of an icky word. Companions, in my opinion, is a better word because you want them to be there throughout the journey, for the long term, right? So that's what we're launching. It is an affiliate. So I'll tell you why we're launching it. We are launching it because at Saral, we saw this problem, right? 5 influencers post about you. One person's link or discount code is used to buy, and then that person gets all the credit. The other 4 don't get the credit. On the flip side, we saw a lot of code leakages, a lot of fraud, a lot of people who would buy their own products and get commissions for them, a bunch of things like this, right? So like, there's like 2 sides where on one side you're under attributing sales. On the other side, you're like attributing sales through coupon codes that are not actually even real sales that would have happened anyway. So we wanted to build, and no affiliate platform addresses these issues. So we wanted to build a platform that helps brands prove real incrementality, see which sales are happening, who's driving them, and so on. And there is a bunch, I'm happy to talk about them, but there's a bunch of features, like it doesn't rely on last click attribution. The tracking is cookieless. So even if there are no cookies or somebody has cookies disabled, it still works. So it's more robust. There's an AI fraud agent that tracks if a coupon has ever leaked and flags that order. It tracks if somebody's ordering using their own code. It tracks if someone's driving fishy traffic patterns and so on. So a bunch of things like that. So it's really complicated and advanced. Helps brands build a truly robust, measurable, defensible program.
I think that's something very important that you addressed there is like the fraud component of people trying to trick the brands. I think that's something that really, if you can address this and solve this, brands will be very happy to hear that. Now,
yeah, literally, like we were doing, like a good anecdote, we were doing some beta tests recently, and one of the brands connected, and we discovered they had $40,000 in sales and some like, I think 8 or 9K in commissions for one influencer affiliate who has, I think, like 3.5K followers on Instagram. So not super big. And then we were like, what's going on? So then we got them on Sathi. And then boom, like there you go. Sathi, the fraud engine, caught the flag. It flagged the coupon code leak. It found where it was. It was on 3 coupon sites. And then they figured out that all of the commissions, the 9K in recorded commissions, were all fraudulent. Like they would have happened anyway. It was all from a coupon site. The influencer hasn't promoted them as much. They've made maybe 1 or 2 posts is all. So, like literally thousands of dollars in potential fraud that goes just unnoticed, and brands lose money on this. And then obviously like their ROAS goes down because you're paying more and not getting as much, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, you're right. Like it's super powerful, especially on the fraud side.
Yeah, I think our listeners will be happy to hear that you can solve this issue, because I think a lot of brands have had this experience that they had like rotten apples with influencers in their campaigns. And now they can finally address this and have a clean flow that is managed from a dashboard. Now, talk me through the onboarding process of a new user. How does that work? How many steps are involved? How long does it take?
Yeah, literally like less than 3 minutes and you're set up with your first program. It's like, again, we've got an AI onboarding assistant that will actually read when you sign up or when you install our app on your Shopify. It'll kind of go through your products, understand the typical like price ranges that you're operating at, the category that you're in, and it'll suggest like, hey, you should offer 15% commission, you should offer 10% discount, or you should offer 50% commission because you're maybe like you're a cheaper product, so you want to give a higher commission, so the dollar value is higher, blah, blah, blah. So onboarding is super efficient and AI enabled. So in like 2 or 3 minutes, you sign up, you install the app, it's ready to go. And if you have your affiliate somewhere in a spreadsheet or in another tool, the migration is, again, it's just like 3 or 4 clicks. You just upload a CSV. There is, again, an AI agent that reads your CSV, assigns it to the right affiliates and the data, and then boom, in the 3rd click, you've migrated entirely and your program is ready to go. So yeah.
Okay, that basically also answered my next question, which have been is there any kind of homework to do for the merchant, for the brand? And AI agent basically takes the workload. How does your pricing structure work? How do you charge for this?
Yeah, so we actually have a launch special going on. The actual pricing is $299 per month for the lowest plan called Ember. Then we have the middle plan called Blaze, that is $499. And then the highest plan called Wildfire, and that is $999. But everything is a 20% off for the launch month. So if you sign up in April, like from the middle of April to the middle of May, you get a 20% off on every single plan. So that's how our pricing structure works. With that said, every plan comes with most of the things that you need to scale. So if you're a new brand, you're just starting out, you don't need the advanced AI fraud handling. Like your codes are not leaking. You first need to make the code that would leak in the future, right? You need to grow and scale your program. So every plan has pretty much everything you need, with the higher tier plans having enablement for more team members, more collaboration, more access control, advanced fraud handling, more AI credits, things like that. Yeah, one thing, I don't think if you've covered this on your podcast or newsletter, but Instagram recently announced that they are going to allow linking to external sites inside of Reels. What that means is, before, when the only external link that was allowed on Instagram was on Stories. So a lot of creators added their affiliate links on Stories, which was great. It used to get clicks and conversions and sales for brands. But Stories disappeared in 24 hours. And there was only so much creativity you could do in a story because it's short. Sometimes it's only a picture. So you can't sell the way you would sell in a reel. Now what's happening? And stories don't go viral. Stories don't reach as many people. Maybe only 10% of their audience sees the story, but a reel could literally go viral, right? Instagram has now allowed external linking on reels, which means your influencer affiliates can make reels that have the potential to go viral and have a link to your store in the reel, which the customer can click and buy. That I think is going to be huge. And a lot of brands, even if you like don't use Saral or Sathi, like do some level of influencer marketing starting Q2, Q3 onwards. Because if you build that community, especially going towards like then the Q4 BFCM season, you're going to make a lot of sales. I think it's one of those early opportunities, which if you just capitalize, you can end up making a lot more money. So I think that's like a good heads up news that I'll drop before we end the recording. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. That's definitely a golden nugget. And as it is in the internet marketing world, the ones who start first with new features are the ones who take the biggest wins away. Very
Correct.
Good.
Yeah.
Where can people go and find out more about you?
I'm on LinkedIn. Search my name, or if you want to check out the new product, it is mysathi.io. I'm sure Klaus will leave the link in the show notes, but it's mysathi.io if you want to go check it out. Again, all prices are 20% off. So if you're interested, if you want to take advantage of the influencer affiliate wave, go sign up. It's a free trial. So at you don't have to pay. Just get a free trial, test it out, and then I'm happy to help you also just advise on your program. So DM me on LinkedIn.
Cool. Sounds good. I will put the links in the show notes as always, and then you're just one click away. Thanks so much for giving us an overview what's happening in the world of marketing and how you can get more out of affiliate marketing. And I hope a lot of people will click through and check it out. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you. It was great taking a coffee break with you, Klaus.